You're listening to a Pave Media show.
Visit pavemedia.net for more podcasts and video entertainment.
So, John, what pop song do you think would make your head explode?
Dancing in the Moonlight by Top Loader.
Ooh, that's a good shout for you.
Very nearly has in the past. I hate that song with a passion that goes beyond all reason.
Can you do a top 5, do you think?
What, songs that I hate with a passion?
That would make your head explode.
Make my head explode. Okay. Dancing in the Moonlight. Beautiful by Christina Aguilera. Oh, I hate that song so much.
In every single way.
Yeah.
Words can get me
Okay, first
down.
of all, we can't afford the rights. Is that something you sing to yourself a lot?
But yeah.
Aww.
So well.
Oh god, 5. That's a lot. I don't have that much hate in me anymore. Like, ask me like 10 years ago, I would have been like, oh, I hate all these songs in the charts. Now I just like, I don't care.
Mr. Brightside, The Killers.
I don't hate that song.
Do you know?
No.
I thought you'd be all over hating that song.
No, it's catchy.
John used to work in HMV and just seems to hate everything.
Actually, that's given me some good inspiration. That song, no, The Killers were one of the better albums that we used to play.
Okay,
no, that's inspiring. No, Ruby by the Kaiser Chiefs.
Ah, yeah.
That Can Die. What was it called? Mika. What was Mika's song called? Is it Golden? No, not Golden. You know the yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That. Wow, you went pretty high there.
Yeah.
That on a hangover, like at 7 a.m, doing like stock take was just unfucking bearable.
Yeah.
Oh, Grace Kelly. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
And probably You're Beautiful by James Blunt.
So just songs about being beautiful.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
You can tell.
Some films are fine just the way they are. Other films sometimes take it way too far. But really, how bad could it get? Let's go beyond the box set.
Welcome everybody to Beyond the Box Set, the podcast where we pitch prequels, sequels and spin-offs to films that don't have any. At the moment we're in a Glenn Close season for reasons. This is the film 3 of 4, just one left to go. Yes. So this week it's Mars Attacks.
It's Mars Attacks, yeah. This was a popular choice, actually.
Oh,
I
yeah.
put it out onto the Twitters, the social medias, like what Glenn Close films would you show somebody who'd never seen a Glenn Close film, which was, the point of this, for better or worse. So, I mean, we've done the two obvious ones came out first, Fatal Attraction, Dangerous Liaisons, they were requested a lot. And then this was, like, also requested quite a lot, which is kind of a different vibe for a Glenn Close film. Also means she's not in it as much, so take from that what you will. But yeah, I thought after last week's disaster, I thought I'd try something a little bit different with you.
Yeah.
Because I felt like you were maybe done with, serious talky dramas about relationships and stuff. So
Yeah, it's just not interesting.
no, fair enough. So I thought, what's the opposite of that? Tim Burton and aliens and explosions and fun and silliness.
Yep.
You give me the face again. Did you hate this one too?
I didn't hate it.
Okay.
It was all a bit much.
Was it a bit too silly for you?
Yeah.
Your bar for like entertainingly silly versus just silly is very difficult to gauge where it lands. Like,
Yeah, you've never managed to hit it.
no, because I had this with True Lies. I thought, oh, well, he likes Skyscraper, of course he's going to like True Lies. And then I thought, well, you like a disaster movie, and you like Tim Burton.
Do I?
Well, you like some Tim Burton, surely.
Name a film that I like.
Do you like his Batman movies?
Not really.
No, Beetlejuice. Well, you've not seen Beetlejuice.
Not seen
have you?
Beetlejuice.
Oh, you weren't like into Scissorhands either, were you?
No.
Okay, maybe you don't like it, Tim Burton.
Didn't think it through, did you?
No, I didn't. Well, look, it was this or I don't know, more dramas. It was this or The Wife again, so.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, what were your general thoughts on this then while watching it?
It's a bit crazy, really, isn't it?
Well, yes, still so. Yeah.
Very interesting cast.
I mean, everyone's in this.
Yeah.
I love a good everyone's in this movie. It's such a big cast. Like everyone who was famous in 1996 is somewhere in this movie. Like Christina Applegate's in this movie basically as an extra. She has no lines.
Who?
Christina Applegate. She is the blonde lady from Anchorman. That's what you know her from, I guess.
No.
You've not seen Anchorman?
No.
Okay. She's very funny. She's in lots of films, but I don't think you've seen any of them then. If you haven't seen Anchorman, I can't imagine what else you'd have seen her in.
Okay.
Okay, no, I know. She played Rachel's sister in Friends. The one who wasn't Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah. Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Still can't picture her, but sure.
Blonde lady. Yeah. Anyway, she's in this and has literally no lines. She's just an
great.
extra, which is And she was famous in 1996, so yeah, I guess all the lines got cut. But yeah, it's a huge cast is what we're getting at with this.
Cool, do you want to do a plot summary?
Sure, well, I mean, the
Before
plot
we
summary...
get to sequels?
Yeah, racing along here. Well, the plot summary is pretty basic. Like, there's not much to say about it. The plot is Mars attacks, the clues in the title. So Martians attack the Earth for no particular reason. And so initially, people think that the Martians have come in peace. There's lots of scientists trying to work on translation machines. And they think that this is higher power.
Well,
has come.
there's one scientist.
There's one scientist who we'll talk about, yeah. They think that these are higher intelligent beings who've come in peace to bring prosperity and, you know, a bit of a Star Trek First Contact kind of vibe, I guess.
Yeah.
They prove to be horribly, horribly mistaken. And the Martians land and just start basically wiping people out.
Yeah.
And basically we just have a few different characters who, you know, react to it. We've got Jack Nicholson as the president. We've got Lucas Haas as a little kind of southern kid with a dotty old grandma. We've got Annette Bening.
Yeah, who was she in this?
She was Barbara. She's in a hell of a wig. She looks so different. She is the kind of hippy-dippy one who thinks that they've come in peace, but then quickly realises that they haven't. She's the casino owner's girlfriend.
He was sitting on the car bonnet at the First Contact moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, her.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. So, yeah, that's basically it. It's just... This film is not about the plot at all. Do you know what this film is? It's based on? It's not even based on...
Fuck all?
No, it's based on a trading card game.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Sure.
that's the plot level we're dealing with. But this isn't about the plot. This is Tim Burton's love letter to like old campy B movies. Like this is deliberately like the special effects, even for 1996.
Oh yeah, I could tell that it
It's
was
very
deliberate.
deliberately shonky. Like, you know, it's not supposed to look amazing and cutting edge.
Yeah, because wasn't it the same year as like Independence Day?
It was, yeah, a very similar film on the surface. Like a lot of the same things happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I miss this Tim Burton. I really miss this Tim Burton. Like where you could tell it's just a crazy weird little passion project for him. It's like he obviously really loves these old like silly black and white B movies from the 50s. They all had this exact plot and they all had like stars of the day just camping it up, and like, you know, it felt like, especially because we watched this shortly after we watched Dumbo, which I just felt like his heart just wasn't in that at all. I think that's been his case for a while. Like this is maybe the last of those Tim Burton films like Edward Scissorhands, like Ed Wood, like Beetlejuice, that are just like him just doing stuff that he finds interesting, and it doesn't really matter if anyone else likes it or not. Like whereas now he's obviously just doing very corporate stuff, which is a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that. I just love the whole vibe of it, how it's just so silly and throwaway. And it's a very easy watch for me. That's another reason I thought, well, even if you don't love it, like after Dangerous Liaisons, which I think you really struggled with, this is a very easy film to watch, I would think.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah. I'd say I was.
Yeah.
I did enjoy Jack Nicholson in this.
Yeah.
I thought he was doing peak Jack Nicholson comedy.
He was. Well, the best thing about this is I feel like everyone who's in this knows exactly what movie they're in.
I was just about to say the same thing. Yeah.
So that helps a lot.
Yeah.
So no,
because so many of the people in this are way bigger than a movie like this.
Yeah.
Like Pierce Brosnan at this point, he's James Bond.
Yes, true.
He doesn't need to be doing this, and you know most people in this are quite big. There's not only any small actors at the time even.
No, most of them are pretty famous and were pretty famous. So yeah. I mean, a lot younger. Like Natalie Portman was a lot younger than she is now, obviously.
Didn't recognise Jack Black till like halfway through the film.
He didn't even last till halfway through the film.
He was the first to go, wasn't he?
He was the first to go. Yeah. That's a very young Jack Black. Like,
yeah, and not looking anything like how Jack Black styles himself currently.
No. Also, he's got that very severe like army buzz cut, obviously, and he's just clinging onto his waistline by a fingernail. Like.
Yeah.
I enjoyed him in this. It was fun.
Die, you alien shithead! I surrender!
Okay, well, who's your favourite then?
I think Jack Nicholson as the president is just a great shout. He's got that really like smarmy vibe that really works. Like
yeah, but also he feels like he doesn't care at all. He's just I don't know what it is. Just like he's not trying or something.
What, as an actor or as a character?
As a character, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's got. I think that works for this film. He's got that kind of jaded kind of quality. Like he's just kind of. He's always kind of strategizing. Like, yeah, it's always about how it's going to play with the public and stuff. So,
yeah.
Oh, did you notice that he plays two roles in this as well?
No.
Oh, you didn't. He also plays the casino owner.
What the
cowboyish guy?
Galaxy Casino or whatever it was called.
Yeah, the cowboy guy who's married to Annette Bening.
I really thought that guy seemed quite familiar.
Yeah, it's Jack Nicholson under like prosthetics and a
right.
crazy wig and cowboy outfit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I was thinking it was Michael Keaton.
Could have been, yeah.
But just like I could see a lot of prosthetics and difficult to see who it actually was.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
Yeah, I like that, a bit of double acting. Yeah, he gets to just really, chew it up in that very Jack Nicholson way. Yeah, so I enjoyed that plot a lot. I mean, we should probably talk about Glenn Close since it's a Glenn Close podcast.
Yeah.
What did you think of Glenn Close?
It's Glenn Close.
It's a Glenn Close podcast now, Harry.
Season.
This is forever now. We're just exclusively doing Glenn Close movies.
What now?
What did you think of Glenn Close in this movie?
She was fine.
I mean,
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously a much less prominent role than the previous two movies.
Sure, yeah.
She doesn't really have a lot to do in this.
No.
Just a little bit of running and screaming around the place and getting crushed by a chandelier very quickly.
Yes. Well, she plays the First Lady.
Yeah.
And it's not a huge part, but she's very, very, camping it up to the max as well. She really matches Jack Nicholson, for the energy. Her reaction faces, which is priceless.
I would say that Glenn Close in this film, to continue my rating, I'd say that she was at, I'd say maybe 10 Meryl's out of Meryl, because I reckon Meryl Streep would have done just as fine.
It would have been exactly the same performance. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen Meryl do this.
This doesn't seem that far away from Death Becomes Her.
No.
It's stupid, weird, special effecty, the sort of thing that no actor of that caliber needs to do.
Sure.
It's just something you might want to do for a bit of fun.
Sure, yeah. I don't think Meryl would take this. I mean, she'd be like, I don't need to do this. I'm not playing the First Lady in a Tim Burton movie. Whereas Glenn was like, Meryl said no, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And she had fun with it.
Yeah.
To her credit, yeah. So is this a slightly more positive Glenn Close experience for you then than our last two?
Yeah.
Oh, good, okay.
I mean, well, from last week, thankfully, I think there's only one direction to go, and that's up.
Good. Okay, well, that's reassuring.
Well, this I thought the colours, but no, I don't think so. Not vivid enough. Oh, Nancy had this in the library, didn't she?
Yes, indeed.
I don't think so.
I thought perhaps the watered silk, and this week it's on sale.
I hardly think I need worry about that. My husband is the leader of the free world. What do you think, Taffy?
Why don't you just leave the Roosevelt room the way the Roosevelts wanted it?
Because Eleanor Roosevelt was too fond of chintz. That's why.
Then she gets crushed to death by a chandelier quite quickly. Yeah.
Which was an enjoyable moment just to see the switch between Glenn Close and clearly just like a dummy made of straw.
Yeah, a pile of rags, yeah. Again, very deliberate, I think.
Yeah.
I loved all that. Yeah, the practical effects in this were really, really good. Mm-hmm. In the sense that they were not really, really good, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I like the fact the aliens themselves, I don't think they were particularly CGI. I think they were like puppets. I think they might have been
really?
Stop motion, maybe?
They had a sort of stop motion feel to them, but I'm sure there was...
It didn't look like CGI, I don't know. Maybe a little bit.
Maybe. I don't know. It was definitely, obviously green screened, and so...
Oh, yeah.
That's the main thing to kind of take away from it, that they don't look realistic, and they do look green screened.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know.
No, I liked the whole look of them. The flying saucers were just flying saucers.
Yeah.
It was very,
extremely basic.
Yeah, exactly. And it was exactly what you expect a Martians to look like in an old sci-fi film. They're the big green heads. And, yeah.
And I liked that on their own spaceships, they're all just there sort of lounging about just in their underwear.
Yes. The no-clothes policy on the spaceship was great.
Yeah.
What confounds me most of all, gentlemen, is the lack of genitalia. And of course, down here we have the aorta, up here we have the sphinx. Notice the highly developed cranial nerve system here. This explains, of course, the cerebral arteries. And if we notice down here, behind the optic chiasm, several glands. Very curious.
So what the characters were there? There was...
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, he's in it for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Very briefly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's her face? Sex and the City.
Sarah Jessica Parker, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she gets a good little character up.
Weird.
Yeah, so they're a couple. He's like a serious journalist, and she is a MTV girl.
Sort
Like,
of gossip.
Gossip,
sort of thing,
yeah, like, she probably presents on like the E Channel or whatever it was at the time. And she gets a little love story after Michael J. Fox dies with Pierce Brosnan, who might be my favourite character actually.
What, Pierce Brosnan?
Pierce Brosnan might be my favourite.
Yeah.
He was having a good time. I liked his ever-present pipe.
Yes, that was good.
And his greasy hair. Again, he just turned on the smarm. I think him and Jack Nicholson on screen were just having like a smarm off in the best possible way. Like,
I loved him explaining science
yes.
with just like no information at all. Just like, oh, yep, so we know this and we know this and we know this and this is what they're here to do and what they mean and everything, and just constantly ignored, but also highly respected, it seems.
Yeah.
It was very odd.
He wasn't ignored. They took him seriously up until the point the aliens started massacring people.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess the aliens make contact. They kind of surround Earth, don't they? And so the Earth reaches out and they arrange a meeting, and it's like in the middle of the Nevada desert, I think, probably Area 51-y kind of
Sort of thing, yeah.
And there's like a huge crowd of people waiting to meet the aliens, and this high-ranking member of the American government goes to greet them with his comedically oversized walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? That it was just
Yeah,
like
that was funny.
ridiculously huge. Little jokes like that.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, so
And like he used it to like just like call like his mum or his wife or something. Be
Yes,
like, yeah, I'm gonna be the one.
yeah,
It was-
I'm so excited. Yeah. But that's because Pierce Brosnan and his science pals have invented a universal translator kind of thing, haven't they?
Yeah.
So they use that and they translate. It clearly just does not work. Doesn't work at all. Well, first of all, the aliens only have one word. It's just ack, 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 ack.
Yeah.
But they translate that as, we come in peace. So they're like, oh yeah, they come in peace. So then the aliens land and they shake hands. It looks like it's all going very well. And then a hippie releases a dove, and the dove gets fried by the Martians, and the Martians just start shooting everybody.
Yep.
Jack Black gets blown up. Well, they don't get blown up. They get kind of disintegrated, incinerated.
Yeah, incinerated,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're just like, again, classic B-movie effects where they just like become skeletons straight away.
Yeah, they just fade into a skeleton.
Yeah, it's great. It's really fun. Michael J. Fox gets killed. Sarah Jessica Parker gets kidnapped.
Yes.
Yeah. And then later on in the film, Pierce Brosnan also gets kidnapped, and they both get... Oh, she's got this really annoying little chihuahua. Awful, yappy little dog.
Yeah.
The worst. I hate chihuahuas. They're my least favourite kind of dog.
Yep.
So they get kidnapped, and just for no reason, the Martians decide to like decapitate her, keep her alive, sew off her head. So her head onto the chihuahua's body, and the chihuahua's head onto her body.
Yes.
Which is a wonderful
Yeah.
visual.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fantastic.
how the chihuahua's body can support the weight of Sarah Jessica Parker's head is questionable, but I don't think that really matters. But it was a lot of fun. And then when Pierce Brosnan gets captured later on, because they've already had this little flirtation where she did an interview with him, and they're flirting, and Michael J. Fox is watching it in his office, and he's quite pissed off about it, obviously. So they've got this whole thing. And then when they get kidnapped, so Pierce Brosnan also gets his head chopped off, and he's just like attached to a bunch of wires and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they have this little headless or bodiless love story.
Yeah, it's a weird romance.
Weird little romance. It's like tragic because they both die at the end, but they get their little kiss. They roll into each other. So.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
May I ask you a question?
Yes. Yes, of course you can, Natalie.
Were you flirting with me on the show? Because if you were, I just want you to know that I liked it.
You did? Really? Because, I've watched you on TV quite a bit, and, well, I've had something of a schoolboy crush on you for, ages.
So then, is that the bit where they kind of take over government or something? Like they call all the government together. They go into Congress or something, and
Yeah, the Martians claim that the Dove incident, the first massacre, was like a misunderstanding. So Pierce Brosnan's like, he's not been kidnapped at this point. He's like, great, we can still pull this back. We can still make peace. And so they invite the aliens to speak before Congress, and the aliens just wipe out Congress, just wipe out all the politicians, the entire room. It's again, it's a lot of fun. Well, it is. But yeah, so Jack Nicholson's kind of been behind the scenes the whole time because he's been kept safe. But then they invade the White House. They fully just invade the White House.
Yeah.
So there's lots of running around. A chandelier falls on Glenn Close, killing her. Natalie Portman plays their daughter, who's called Taffy.
what a name.
What a terrible, terrible name. She doesn't really get much to do in this movie, though. She's kind of just in the background.
Yeah.
She gets to live, I guess.
Yeah.
And inherit the presidency.
I think so.
I don't think that's how it works.
No, I don't think so. No.
I guess everyone had been wiped out. It was like, well, we need somebody. Like,
Yeah.
Also, she was like 14. But
Yeah.
So the other major plot line, I guess, is with there's the boxer. Yeah, he's a boxer who's working in Vegas, like an ex-boxer. He's like a washed-up ex-boxer.
Yeah.
Working as like a attraction, I guess. Like just
selfies with people. He's in Caesar's Palace working.
Yeah, exactly. He's dressed as like a pharaoh. Like, so,
yeah. A gladiator.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something in that vein. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he's
I was going to say a centaur for a while, but that's a half-man, half-horse creature. Yeah.
That's a very different thing.
Yeah, they're a very different costume.
I mean, I'd like that. That would also be fun.
Yeah, yeah, it would.
Just for no reason, he's a centaur. Were you thinking of Centurion?
Yes.
There we go.
There it is.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I know how your brain works. Or doesn't. Yeah, I guess he's as close as this movie has to a hero.
Yeah, he is.
Him or Lucas Haas, the kid. No, everyone else isn't that, particularly likable character. Like Jack Nicholson's in it a lot, but he's definitely not a hero. You're not particularly sad when he dies. Other than being sad that, there's no more Jack Nicholson, he was fun.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So yeah, he basically, his whole thing is he's trying to get back to his son and to his sons, sorry. He runs into the casino owner's wife, Barbara, played by Annette Bening, in a crazy auburn wig. She's dressed as like 90s Madonna. It's very 90s Madonna, the bindies and the saris. And when Madonna went through a kind of rave lighty hippy dippy phase, it was very that. So they kind of team up because she's got a plane. Or they end up rescuing Tom Jones.
I did appreciate that. The whole time I was like, is that actually Tom Jones?
Yeah.
Is Tom Jones playing himself in this? What's going on? That doesn't look like Tom Jones. His face doesn't look right. But no, he's just 20 years younger.
Yes, yeah. I think his face.
And you're still dyeing his hair.
Yes, very much so. Yeah. I don't think he looks that different, does he? He's probably had a few facelifts, but
I just didn't recognise his face in this at all.
Fair enough. I remembered him being in this more. My memory of this was that he was like a main character. He actually has like 2 lines.
He's got more to do than Danny DeVito.
Yes, Danny DeVito doesn't even get a character name.
No.
He's just credited as rude gambler.
Yeah, whereas like you look on the posters, he's 4th billed.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's only 4 people billed.
Well, I guess he's like a Tim Burton staple, isn't he? Like he's in quite a few Tim Burton films, so it's like, well, yeah. You expect a bit of Danny DeVito. I like the bit when he got killed. He's a lawyer, I think. He's a gambler, basically.
Yeah.
He gets cornered by a Martian. He tries to worm his way out of it. Doesn't work. He gets shot. And then...
We were saying, like, hey, you're taking over the world, right? Well, you need some lawyers. Everyone needs lawyers.
Yeah.
Like, for what?
Lawsuits.
Who's going to take them to court?
Class action damages. That's the sequel, you see. I just like how Annette Bening's character just kind of goes, I liked him. Like,
yeah.
Don't know why. He was horrible. Like,
yeah.
She seems like a girl who makes bad choices.
Yeah.
Shit. I surrender, okay? You understand what that means, surrender? Look, you're intelligent beings. Hey, let's cut a deal. I can help you. I'm a lawyer. You want to conquer the world, you're gonna need lawyers, right? Here. You want my watch? Hey, take it. Take it, go on. It's a Rolex.
Nice shot.
Yeah. Pity I was too late.
So Tom Jones and the boxer and Annette Bening kind of charter a jet. And, no, the boxer doesn't. The boxer kind of has his hero moment where you think he's died. Where he boxes he boxes all the Martians.
The boxer wants to get to the airport so he can get a plane, fly to Washington to his family.
Yes.
And then he's the only one who doesn't get on the plane.
Yeah.
So where are they going?
They're just going for safety. She wanted to fly somewhere safe.
Where's safe?
Well, the mountains.
It's an international attack on the planet.
Yeah. Well, she said they would go somewhere remote in the mountains where the aliens wouldn't find them. It seemed like a reasonable plan.
Okay. I didn't catch that, but yeah, sure.
It was like a one-line bit of exposition.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the mental image at the end where they emerge from like a cave and Tom Jones is basically Jesus.
Yeah.
He's like just holding out his hand and there's like eagles landing in his hand.
Yeah, that was good.
Tom Jones is Jesus. And then he just bursts into It's Not Unusual. Like, I wonder at any point in this film if Tom Jones was like, guys, I have other hits.
Yeah.
He just sings It's Not Unusual like every time he's on screen. That's his one. I guess that's his big American hit. But yeah, so that's that plot line. That's kind of fun. So the other hero is Lucas Haas, who plays like, what's his character called?
I do not know.
Like
Jack Black's brother?
Jack Black's brother, yes. Richie. That was it, Richie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so basically his family are like trailer trash. They're pretty much literally they live in a trailer. They're very much that. And Jack Black's like the favourite son because he's the oldest son. He's joining the army. And Lucas Haas's character Richie, he's more of like a scrawny little nerd. He doesn't really fit in with his family at all. But he does love his grandma.
Yeah.
He loves his grandma, who's just like this dotty old lady who doesn't seem to be all there as all. So Jack Black gets killed and his family, it should have been you that died. And just very horrible to him. I liked him a lot. He had a lot of like really good like slightly stonerish comedy moments, like just saying like really vapid things like, hey, they made the international sign for the donut.
Yep.
I like his delivery on those kind of lines. Just this slightly spacey character.
Oh, look at that brain. He must be real smart.
It's gross.
Don't forget, Natalie, we will look equally gross to him.
Whoa, he made the international sign of the donut.
But yeah, so he accidentally saves the world, him and his grandma. When the aliens land and invade and they're just blowing shit up everywhere, he kind of races over to his grandma's old people's home to try and save her. And she's listening to some music. Oh, it's one of my favourite little visual gags of just the aliens just being arseholes for no reason. Just when they just put like the biggest, massivest laser targeted on this little old lady's head behind her back. Like, just dicks.
Yeah.
Just dicks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he arrives just in time and she pulls the headphones out and then her music starts blasting. And it turns out that yodeling is their kryptonite, which I enjoyed. So.
Yep. Very good.
She likes listening to like yodely country music, like real country music. So yeah, I think Slim Whitman is the singer. Anyway, it's great. And that just causes the aliens to scream and their heads to explode. And that's how they end up killing all of them. Yeah, they just blast yodeling music around. I guess at some point they just must just tell the radio stations, just like, hey, everyone just play this all the time.
Yeah, there must be, yeah.
Yeah. It was like, why was it playing on the alien spaceship?
I don't know, because they were monitoring Earth audio
You'd think,
stuff.
You'd think, this hurts, turn it off quickly.
Yeah.
And they just kind of
Don't
die. Yeah. But that causes all of the aliens to die. And all the flying saucers start crashing into the Earth, basically, and then that's when poor old Sarah Jessica Parker and Pierce Brosnan die because they, I guess, drown or it blows up or something. But in the last moments, their heads roll off and they manage to kiss, and then it's like, it's funny and it's stupid, but also sweet. It's like,
it really is.
Yeah.
Probably a good summation for the film.
Richie, I think these guys are very sick. What's happening to them? What's killing them? I think it must be my music.
One of the most memorable scenes that we haven't talked about is the female Martian who...
Oh, yes, yes.
Or the Martian disguised as a female. Mm-hmm. That was good fun.
Yeah, that was a really good sequence.
Yes. So, yeah, because Martin Short plays like a sleazy PR kind of guy working in the White House. And he seems to have a thing for prostitutes. And he picks up this very strange looking woman.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously like a Martian head inside. So it's basically a very tall woman with a giant beehive. who doesn't say anything. And the way she walked was amazing.
It was. That
floaty walk was fantastic.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, honey, you want to see the White House? Which I guess is what he does. He just shows women the White House to get laid. And she just doesn't say a word the whole time. It's great. So they kind of get into the bedroom situation. I don't know if you have a permanent bedroom in the White House. It seems like.
Oh, it was just a random sex room.
A random sex room, sure.
Yeah.
I guess the White House probably does have a random sex room. I remember the finger biting being another bit that really scared me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I think this is a film that's like a good film to watch when you're like a kid. Because it's scary, but it's not going to like destroy you. You know, it's not going to like traumatize you particularly. It's just
it could, you don't know.
Maybe some people did, but you know, it's scary in that way that's like, you know, you can cope with it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, there's lots of scenes that just really burn into my memory from childhood, which I think is what the appeal of this film is, like, because it's not like the funniest film in the world.
It has its moments.
It has funny moments, and it's definitely a comedy. But I mean, like, I don't think it's so much making fun of. It's not like a spoof as much as it's just like a love letter. It's like a remake of. It's like, what if those cheesy B movies were getting made in 1996 with big stars and with Tim Burton directing? I think that's what Tim Burton wanted to do, and it's like, oh, it would look like this.
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess, yeah,
which I like. I think that's the kind of thing Tim Burton does. He doesn't like make fun of things. He just kind of celebrates them. And this film feels like it's a celebration of those kind of films, which I really appreciated. What was your favourite death? There's some very memorable deaths in this film.
I think probably Jack Nicholson, actually. Yeah, I think his was the best. Like, he just had the best reaction, the best faces and stuff. Like, he does a good face.
Oh, he did great face. His face work in this film was top notch.
Yeah. No, that's going to be mine, I think.
Sure, yeah. So Jack Nicholson as the president, not Jack Nicholson as the casino.
Oh, yeah,
blown
yeah.
Up.
President, yeah.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, that'd be up there for me.
That casino guy, I just thought, like, well, what's the point of this storyline? Like, this doesn't mean anything to anybody, really.
I think it was more for Annette Bening's character.
I guess, yeah. But
setting her up a little bit. She's married to this like sleazeball, and like she's not very satisfied. Like,
yeah.
I like how when she finds the boxer and she's like, "I've got a plane," and he goes, "Oh, doesn't that belong to your husband?" She goes, "Oh no, he's dead." She's not so unbothered. She's like, "Oh yeah, he died." Like,
yep.
Should have seen that coming.
Byron, do you know anyone who can fly a plane?
Yeah, your husband Art.
No, he's dead. I told him this was going to happen. I even loaded a plane with supplies. I want to go to Tahoe, to the Tahoe Caves. It's remote. The Martians won't find it.
Well, where's the plane?
Private airfield, other side of the freeway.
You think it'll fly to Washington, D.C.?
Why? I want to go to Tahoe.
Cool. Should we do some drinking games?
Let's, yeah.
Okay, so I've only got 3 today.
Okay.
So first one is drink whenever a head explodes.
That's a good one, yeah. Mm-hmm. I had drink whenever you recognise a new famous person.
Ah, okay, well I've got one here. Drink whenever an actor you recognise dies.
Yeah, well, that works too.
Yep.
Either when they arrive or when they die.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do both, yeah. Because most of them do. In tribute to Glenn Close, drink every time Glenn Close makes a reaction face.
Sure.
Yeah. There's like
I feel like you've done that every episode, but yeah.
Well, it's what she does. She gives good face. Say what you like about Glenn Close. The lady gives good face.
Sure, yeah. Okay. Fair enough. My last one, drink whenever a landmark gets damaged or destroyed.
Ooh, yes, I've got that too. That's very good. Yeah. Again, so much of this is like Independence Day. It's great. Like those sequences are very similar.
Well, I wouldn't say very similar.
Not very similar, but you know, the same landmarks a lot. You know, you see the Tower of London and Big Ben get blown up, don't they? The Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, you see the Eiffel Tower go. You see the Washington Monument go.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Oh, you see the Mount Rushmore where they turn them into the Martians, which is good fun. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
But I liked with the French scene as well. So obviously, in the middle of the invasion, Jack Nicholson gets a phone call from the French president, and he's like, "We have agreed." And he's doing a very, very French, you know.
Yeah.
"We have agreed to a peace treaty with the Martians," and he's like, "No, Pierre, get out of there!" And then you just hear blasts, and all the French government gets blown up as well. And then Jack Nicholson just kind of he just face palms, just goes, "Oh, mon Dieu." Oh, it's great.
Yeah, that was very good.
Drink for 90s phones.
Okay, yeah.
There's lots of. I mean, the giant walkie-talkie doesn't even qualify as a 90s phone. That's just a visual gag.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of 90s phone work. Like Sarah Jessica Parker's got a big old flip phone. Like lots of 90s mobiles and stuff, which are always fun to spot.
Yeah.
The visuals for this film were very like 90s meets the 50s, which I thought was really interesting. Like there's lots of like 90s fashion, but also a lot of very like Sarah Jessica Parker looked very like a parody of the 90s, like with the big neon colours and like the little 90s bob and stuff. But then you've got Glenn Close who's dressed like a 50s kind of housewife kind of thing. And everyone's watching like really old TVs. Not just like 90s old, but like 50s old, like the little square ones.
Yeah, they always like really rounded edges.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all very odd.
Yeah, well, I think it's deliberately, it's like mixing, you know, the era that these original films would have got made versus the era that this film's set in. So,
yeah.
Tiny little thing, but I just really enjoyed the fact that Natalie Portman, there's a scene where she's like in her bedroom watching TV on a tiny little television, and she gets served pizza on like a silver platter. Just a funny little tiny little moment. I was like, I like the little jokes are what make Tim Burton films for me. Drink for poor decision making. Lots of characters make bad choices in this film.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, and finally, same as you, drink when famous buildings get destroyed. So, yeah.
Very good.
So, final impressions?
Final impressions?
You seem kind of neither here nor there on this one.
Well, yeah, that's what...
yeah, sure. That is the international language for meh, yeah. Okay. What would have made this film better for you?
I don't know. It went for something and it did it.
That something's just not something that's really your cup of tea?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. It didn't really do anything wrong.
No, sure.
So, yeah.
I mean, were you bored or were you just like, oh, this is too silly for me?
I think both.
Both? Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a hard one to be bored by because it's like, it's really tight and fast paced. There's not like loads of like wasted time in it.
A lot of it just feels like the same thing happening again and again.
That's probably fair.
It's kind of like, oh man, we managed to get all this cast. Wow. Okay, well, better write enough stories.
Yeah.
And it's all just the same. Like, oh, they're going about their lives. Oh, Martians attack. Oh, they're dead.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, none of the characters have personalities particularly. Like, it doesn't really give you a lot of... Jack Nicholson's probably the only one who has, like, a character.
Yeah,
like, everyone else
maybe
is just...
Pierce Brosnan and Sarah Jessica Parker, like, they've got a bit of a story going on. But
sure.
Other than that, there's almost nothing happening.
No, they're mostly just reacting to things. There's not... Even like Lucas Haas and the grandma, they don't really... You don't really know a lot about them particularly.
Yeah, they don't have anything to do until the last 5 minutes.
Sure, yeah. They're just there because, you know...
Yeah.
You would just drop in on them every now and then. Yeah. So I think that's fair. When you have a huge cast at a film like this, it means that you don't really get, like, you know... It's the actors' charismas the charisma of the actors that makes it work, because the characters aren't really on the page. So,
yeah, I think probably, yeah.
It really coasts on charm, but I don't mind that, particularly. I like celebrity spotting.
Yes, that is always good.
Yeah. So I guess that's it then. Should we move on to Patreon?
Yeah, so if you've enjoyed this episode, or you've enjoyed any other episodes, and you want to support us, or say thank you, or something, then please go to patreon.com/beyondtheboxset, where you can support us for as much or as little as you like per month. And if you do that, then you get a few bonus features, which include a bonus show we do called Beyond the Box Set, where we review cinema releases.
Yes.
Which is good fun to do. We've got a couple to record tonight on... What are we doing?
We are going to be doing Shazam and Pet Sematary.
Oh, yeah, pretty much the same film, right?
Identical, yeah.
No, they're both going to be a good time to talk about, definitely, because they were, in very different ways, great films to watch.
Indeed, yeah, I had a lot of fun with both. Yeah.
Not saying they're great films, just... fun to watch, good cinema experiences.
Oh yes, and we're going once for the ages, but
anyway, we'll get to that more in those episodes. So that's it. They're on Patreon, and also not just that, but once a month, every Patreon will get a 30-second advert slot on the main show, for which you can advertise whatever you want. Could be your own podcast, your own business, somebody else's podcast, the latest TV show you've been watching. Maybe you really like Game of Thrones. You want to talk about Game of Thrones and tell us how good Game of Thrones is.
Yeah. I think it's a real shame that show like really died a death. Like, people just aren't talking about it anymore.
No one's talking about it anymore. Like, what happened?
It's like the last season of Lost. People just given up.
Yeah, it's
such a shame. Really flying under the radar.
Yep.
But if for the few that are still watching it, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, and if you want to rave about it, then become a Patreon. Finally, once a month we have a Patreon come on the show, and we have a Patreon pick a film for us.
Yes,
and are very welcome to come on the show as well. That's encouraged, but you don't have to.
No.
I think we might have something planned in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, we do. Just as soon as we finish wrapping up this Glenn Close season. So there's one more of those. And then, we're going to have one of our most recent Patreons. He's going to come on and talk about a very different kind of film. And I'm excited for it. So, we'll reveal more about that next week.
Sure thing. At the end of next week's episode,
yes.
Hi, I'm Lee, and I host Connected Hearts, a Kingdom Hearts fan community podcast. Each episode, a guest and I talk about the game series and the fantastic community surrounding it. From artists to streamers, cosplayers, and podcasters, we talk about how a dog, a duck, and a boy in silly shorts teaches us that our friends are our power. You can find the show on iTunes or grab the RSS feed from Twitter for the podcatcher of your choice, @PodcastHearts. And hey, may your heart be your guiding key.
Cool. Right, so on to some sequels. So this one is going to pick up directly during the attack in the original film.
Okay. So it's still in the 90s?
Still in the 90s, yeah.
Okay.
One of the Martian ships, in all the chaos, has landed by a hospital. And it's inside, is killing everyone because, they're dickheads.
Where's this hospital? In America?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And, one of these Martians is just walking room by room, just killing random people. It walks into the maternity ward.
Okay.
I believe it's called, or the room with all the unattended babies, essentially.
Yeah.
Kills the nurse that's on guard there, or whatever. And they're just about to start going killing babies.
Sure, that'd be rough.
Yeah, it would be rough.
I think this film was wise to not show babies being vaporized. That's a hard sell. Sure, if that's where you want to go, you monster.
And so it looks down at one of the cribs and looks into the eyes of one of the babies.
Oh.
And then it like its heart wells up or something. Like it drops its gun, grabs the baby, and runs back to its ship.
Oh, okay. So we've got an alien being raised by Martians. A baby being raised by Martians. Yeah. Is that what we're going to have? Yeah.
Yeah. And this is when they get the message that, like, abort, like, it's all going to shit. We don't like yodeling.
Yeah, really don't like yodeling.
And so it's like, shit, need to go. And, yeah, they take off and fly away into the sky towards Mars. And then yodeling music just plays over the credits, and we get our title, Mars Attacks 2, Attack on Mars.
Oh, interesting, a reversal.
20 years later.
Uh-huh.
So, present-ish day, 2019. Natalie Portman has recently been re-elected president for the 5th time in a row.
Oh, wow. That's unconstitutional, but I guess after what went down, maybe they just changed everything,
Yeah. I mean, America is pretty much just a dictatorship now.
Sure. Well, in real life or in this film? Or both?
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Okay, sure. How many years later did you say? 20 years later?
Yeah, just whatever.
Sure, well, okay, fine, yeah. So roughly in the present day?
Yeah.
Okay, right, I'm with you. Cool.
And so for revenge of, what happened to her parents, and indeed for the millions across the globe who lost their lives 20 years ago, she's devoted her presidency to two things: rebuilding,
sure,
and also upgrading the military to become a spacefaring fleet.
Oh, nice, okay.
Using abandoned Martian tech, America has now permanent colonies in orbit and also on the moon. And there has been a long-term plan to take Mars, as not only are they our mortal enemy, but Earth is quite overpopulated and low on resources. Present day, global warming issues, whatever.
I mean, it feels like the Martians killed a lot of people.
Yeah, but I feel like... I don't feel it was like billions.
It wasn't like they didn't like Thanos it. Right?
No, I don't really get that impression.
No,
just
fine.
They caused a lot of chaos.
Okay, fine.
I mean, they were just going around with guns shooting people.
I mean, they did also blow up whole cities, but sure.
Did they?
Well, they blew up a lot of monuments. You got to figure.
That's not whole cities. That's just like.
Well, sure, I'll go with it. It's 20 years later, overpopulation. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, so this Martian tech might have been spread out through the world, and just like humanity has just really grown from having all this futuristic technology, and now we've just got 12 billion people living on the planet, and we can't do it. We don't have enough food.
Sure, yeah.
It would be a tough time, you know. We'll see how the next 10 years works out for us.
Exactly, yeah. It's just chilling.
Yeah, so President Portman, I'm going to refer to her as
in that. Great name.
It is, isn't it? President Portman.
Why shouldn't she should run?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't vote for her because I'm not American, but
no,
it can't be any worse than what we've got right now. So
yeah, exactly.
President Portman 2024. Yeah.
I mean, it's 2020 first, isn't it?
Probably a bit late for a hat in the ring now. Aren't you sure?
Yeah. Yeah. So she is personally leading the attack on Mars, and will in fact be in the flagship, ready to come down to Mars to murder their leader hand to hand.
So she's just abandoning her presidency for the time being to go on a revenge mission to Mars.
Not necessarily abandoning her presidency, but just like she's on a mission.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll buy it.
Whatever, yeah. Again, she's a dictator. She can do whatever she wants.
I guess. Is she like an evil dictator?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm not saying that like she's the bad guy or anything, but just like she's definitely a politician that's not universally loved.
Sure. Yeah. I think Natalie Portman would play that well.
Yeah. I'm expecting Natalie Portman at 11 in this.
Great. Yeah.
Anyway, her ships descend to the Martian surface and land in the outskirts of what appears to be the capital city.
Okay.
The soldiers burst out of their ships and attempt to start killing any Martians in sight, similar to how the Martians did to them 20 years ago.
So how many is this like a whole fleet? So there's a whole army is invading, not just like a few people on one ship.
Well, maybe at this point it's just like one ship. It's probably just one ship for now, but like
an away team, but they're taking on an entire planet.
Well, they're just sort of testing. Like I said, landed on the outskirts of a city.
Sure,
they just go one by one.
Okay, right, I see.
And so they do that. They've all got these brand new weapons that pretty much just have a very concentrated stream of yodeling.
Oh, nice. Okay. So like, it fires the gun like a laser flashes, and it just like yodeling, it just blows up.
Yep,
that is great.
Yeah. And for kind of a publicity thing, this is all live broadcast back to Earth.
Oh, okay.
As in just like, yep, we're taking control of our solar system.
Oh, nice, okay. So it's being live streamed.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Martian invasion is being live streamed.
Yeah, it's 2019, that's what happened. Now, these weapons, they don't work.
Okay.
It's a bit of a surprise. The weapons are useless, and the soldiers actually have no way to kill the Martians.
Oh dear.
So it's a bit of a surprise. And this group of soldiers, I don't know, maybe 12, 20 people, doesn't really matter, they get taken prisoner.
Oh, okay.
And are held beneath the royal palace.
Has President Portman also been taken prisoner?
No, not yet.
Okay.
And so then the Martian leader, they broadcast a message to President Portman and to Earth as well, again live, saying that if she wants to see her soldiers alive again, then she must come down herself and discuss terms.
Okay.
Again, this all being very public turned out not to be such a good idea, because now she has to comply or else she's just abandoning people on Mars.
Sure, yeah.
And as we all learnt from watching The Martian, you can't, like...
That's bad PR.
No, can't do
bad
it.
PR.
Bad PR.
You can't even leave Matt Damon. So
no. So yeah, Natalie has to comply at risk of losing her position as president. So she goes down in person and gets escorted to the royal palace by Martians. She's taken into the throne room, and sitting in the throne room is a human, and it's this 20-something-year-old man.
Who did you land on?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, okay.
I would like to see him really hamming it up.
I think he could do that. Yeah.
I think he could too.
Yeah.
It was between him and Jaden Smith, he's just not got anything.
No, he's quite boring.
Tom Holland has charisma. I'm sure he can do things that aren't just Spider-Man.
I'm excited for him to do things that aren't Spider-Man. I'd like to see him playing a villain.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he could be really good.
Yeah.
Or he might not be.
He might be terrible, but it'll be entertaining either way.
Yeah, yeah, it would. Anyway, so keep saying anyway a lot now. It's starting to bother me.
You always do. It's fine. I edit it.
Great. He explains that he was from Earth 20 years ago, and many experiments were done on him. Okay. The Martians, they managed to copy his ears pretty much and use them to make themselves impervious to yodeling.
Oh wow, okay.
I mean, they don't like it. They find it painful,
but it doesn't make
doesn't kill them.
Sure, yeah.
And not just that, they've also managed to do a few tests on human ears and designed a type of music so unpleasant to the human ear that it will essentially have the same effect. It'll blow up a human's head.
Is it the music of Mika?
No. I mean, to be fair, it could be. Yeah. We can make it that if you want.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I was going to go with dubstep, but yeah, Mika sounds good.
Okay. You're such a grumpy old man. Dubstep.
I mean, I just think of genres that I generally don't like. It's either dubstep or opera, and opera doesn't really have, like... It's too slow.
Yeah, I guess. I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, so Tom Holland also explains he's been fitted with Martian ears, or upgraded Martian ears, which he then shows to Natalie.
Nice.
I don't know, maybe big green things or something coming off the side of his face.
Great, yeah.
So he's looking pretty stupid.
Yeah. Is he wearing just boxers as well?
Yes. Sure.
Like, well, this is what we all wear.
Yeah, he says that after living with them so long, he learns to like the Martians, actually, and he likes their way of life. And eventually they elected him their leader, and so pretty much to sort of bridge the gap between the two worlds. He extends an arm out to Natalie to shake hands, who, still haunted by a past, sees him as just a Martian monster.
Sure, yeah.
She bats his hand away, stating he's one of them, a traitor, and she will find a way to obliterate them from existence and sit on his throne as the president of the solar system.
I very much imagine Natalie Portman doing that speech.
Yeah. To this, the royal guards all hold up weapons pointed at the imprisoned soldiers. They fire, and the weapons all play a directed stream of Mika, and the soldiers' heads ripple a bit, and then all one by one explode.
Oh, what a horrible way to go, Mika.
Tom Holland is, of course, lip-syncing to this.
Oh, yes, for his life.
Yeah. He says that if she leaves now and never returns, he will spare her, but she spits in his face.
Ooh. Confrontational, Natalie.
Yeah.
Not really got much to bargain with anymore.
Yeah. And then pretty much just commence a montage of Martians wiping out the humans that have landed on Mars with Mika as a soundtrack. And then a post-credit scene, we see Tom Holland with his, invincible Martian human ears getting into a ship and heading towards Earth.
Oh, so the bad guys continued. Oh, to be continued with saying the franchise. Okay.
Well, I would argue that the bad guys are President Portman and co.
Yeah, I guess.
Really?
Well, yeah, they're invading their home planet. I mean, it's retaliation for the Martians attacked first.
True. So yeah, in this film, it's kind of switched around. In whatever third film there is, that Tom Holland's just going to be this random person of both worlds.
Okay.
Who's the bad guy? Who knows? Maybe everyone's the bad guy. Maybe Tom Holland's the bad guy.
Maybe, yeah. Well, maybe you could do a thing where the original film, The Martians, actually did have a reason for needing to wipe out the humans.
Oh, yeah.
It could be like all those rovers that they've been sending out all those years have been causing horrible damage to their atmosphere or something. Maybe you could justify their behaviour a little bit, and they're not just like assholes. But
something like that.
So it's like, the humans were the villains the whole time. It's a classic twist.
Yeah, that could work.
No, I think that's pretty good. What did you say the title was?
Mars Attacks 2: Attack on Mars.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very simple title,
very
let's
simple,
be honest.
But it sets out what you wanted to do and you did it. So, very good.
What have you got then?
So, yeah, I felt like because we are in a Glenn Close season, I felt like it was only fair that I'd do something with her in the sequel, which is difficult because she's definitely dead.
Yeah, like I kind of wanted to do something with her, but just, then you can't do a sequel of any kind unless you do something really weird, which maybe you're about to. Yeah, I felt bad not using her, but just I had a story. It didn't involve her.
No, that's perfectly fine. So I was thinking, what is it about this film that works? And like I we talked about earlier, I think that one of the things that makes this film really good is the cast. Like, just the fun of watching all of these stars. And the other thing I liked about this film was that Tim Burton was doing something he was really passionate about. It was like his love letter to B movies and stuff. So, and as I mentioned earlier, I do miss this Tim Burton. I miss like Tim Burton doing crazy little passion projects. So I thought, what if we reunited this cast with Tim Burton again on another, not direct sequel, but the same cast doing kind of a similar kind of movie. So he's done the Martian one. So I was thinking it could be another famous kind of 1950s B movie would be kind of more of a like sex action, almost softcore porny kind of thing. They did a lot of things like, you know,
What do you want about?
I'm sort of like they did a lot of films of like, you know, like it'd be like Amazon women on the moon, that kind of thing. Like there'd be lots of like chesty women running around in not a lot of clothes, like, you know, with very little purpose. I mean, it'd be fun to do something like that from a Tim Burton perspective. I think he'd do that very well. So I'm thinking this film is not a sequel, but it's the same cast, and it's called Catwomen from Venus.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very interested to see where this goes, but also don't really want to.
So, as I say, it's not a sequel. It's not related. It's not in the world of the original film, but it's the same cast, and it opens on the first ever manned space mission to the planet Venus.
Okay.
Which has not yet happened in the real world because it's got a very hostile atmosphere, I think. So I feel like Jim Brown, the boxer, he'd be a good ship's captain. You know, he's big and imposing and commanding. So he's the ship's captain on this mission to Venus. And then a lot of the other cast members are also going to be there. So we'll have Pierce Brosnan as the chief science officer.
Great.
Yeah. Still smoking that pipe, obviously. Lucas Haas, botanist. You gotta have a botanist.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever.
Tom Jones, ship entertainment.
Tom Jones as Tom Jones?
Tom Jones as Tom Jones, just lounge singing in space now, yeah. Sure. And Jack Black.
Just the one song, though.
Just the one song, yeah. Just on a constant loop, his own personal hell.
Yeah.
Although maybe instead of, I don't know, maybe instead of It's Not Unusual, he could do like Sex Bomb or something. Just mix it up a bit. Yeah, one of his funnier ones. And Jack Black as a red shirt. I think would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's good.
So they're on this mission to Venus, which they believe to be uninhabited and uninhabitable. So they're just there to like collect soil samples, do some experiments. You know, typical like the Martian. I'm imagining it's like the Martian at this point.
Yeah.
They land on Mars. They break through the atmosphere, but when they get there, they're shocked to discover that there are actually whole cities on Venus. They've evaded discovery because of the very harsh atmosphere. It means it clouds all the sensors, so nobody ever seen it. Actually, Venus is. Yeah. So they land on Venus and they're greeted by a envoy of women.
Okay.
Basically, women who are half woman, half cat.
Sure.
Well, they're aliens, but the alien makeup makes them look like half woman, half cat. I think that'd be.
What are they still like a human shape and size, but just like with cat ears and whiskers and a cute little nose?
I think so, yeah, and a tail.
Yeah. And a tail, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's good.
But then what's going on, like, boob-wise?
What's going on boob-wise?
Yeah, what have we got there? What are we talking? How many are we talking?
How many boobs?
2, 6, 8? I don't know how many a cat has.
You sound like you do.
6 or 8, I don't know.
6 or 8, fine. Yeah. Sure, maybe they've got 8 boobs, but just tiny little nipples. Just 8 nipples, but no boob.
Okay, so you show nipple.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, no. Crikey.
But nipples without boob.
I feel like the nipple is the thing that needs covering to be, you know, shown in films and stuff.
This film could be a little bit more highly rated. I don't know. Free the nipple.
Are they all shown? All the nipples, or is like is there 2 at the top that just look like human boobs, and then just like the stomach is just like a mess of nipples?
It's just wow, painting quite a picture here. I don't know. Maybe the.
Bear in mind, you're getting real women to actually act this.
Sure, yeah. We'll use CGI.
To do what? To just have like a flat-chested, 8-nippled woman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Maybe they're wearing like pasties. I don't know.
Sure. Is Glenn Close one of these people?
We're going to get to Glenn Close, but yes.
Wow, okay. I'm interested to see.
So they're greeted...
You know what? I'm not.
They're greeted by the Venusian catwomen. And they are...
Wait a minute. This whole season has been about Glenn Close's boobs. You can't take them away now.
Fine, they've all got boobs.
Okay, good. Do they have to wear 4 separate bras, or do they have like just one piece that does everything?
I feel like you're focusing on this a little bit too much. So they get captured by these Venusian catwomen, and they're taken to the leader. And the leader is Glenn Close.
Okay.
She's the queen of the cat people.
Yeah.
I think she'd be good at that.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a look of a cat sometimes, like, I think. Slightly cat.
Does she?
I think she's got like cat-like qualities to her. I don't know.
Like what?
I don't know. Cats always look pretty scheming and evil, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, you just told me on that, I guess.
One of my rejected sequel ideas that I never got around to for Dangerous Liaisons was the same film, but everyone's a cat.
Yeah, I'm sure that works.
They just seemed like cats. You know?
Okay.
John Malkovich is very much a cat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they
he does lick his hand and wipe his face at one point, doesn't he?
Well, exactly. Yeah.
And hiss at someone.
Yes, you see?
Yeah.
It all ties together.
Yeah.
I wish I'd gone with that now. It's probably better than the idea I came up with, but never mind. So they're greeted by Glenn Close as the Queen of the Cat People. And initially she seems very friendly. And it's an all-female society.
Mm-hmm.
And so she kind of welcomes them and tells them all that they're welcome to stay for as long as they want. And you know, they can ask any questions they want, but first they should get more comfortable kind of thing. So they all get taken away to, like, you know, their own rooms and stuff, and they're all kind of loving it. And basically what I'm thinking of here is that this is going to be kind of a sex slavery thing, maybe?
Sure.
Like, so maybe Jack Black, the red shirt, he gets taken by one of the cats. He's very excited, you know, because it's an 8-breasted woman with, you know, I don't know, is that an attractive image? I don't know. But yeah, maybe he can be the first, because he's a red shirt, he's the first one who gets, like, sexed to death. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of, like, you know, like Death by Snoo Snoo from Futurama.
Just about to quote that as well. Yeah.
So yeah, you know, they're all kind of getting used to these new surroundings, and they're like, you know, this is fascinating, and you know, and then they find that Jack Black's like corpse, just his mangled corpse, just with like smoke pouring from his crotch or something. It's like,
yeah, I like that.
I mean, that'd be fun. Maybe they get sexed so much to death that they become skeletons. Like,
yep,
skeletons with just shattered pelvises. Just
yep,
like,
that works
you know,
very
they
well.
literally burst into flames. Like, and yeah, so I think it just be like they realise that the cat women are actually evil slave masters in this. I guess it becomes like an escape thing. They need to try and escape from the planet of the cat women.
It would, yeah.
Maybe it turns out that the women have already killed all of their own menfolk many generations ago, like, and they need men to, you know, reproduce to help, you know, to keep the species alive or something. I don't know. Oh, maybe there's like a love story. So I'm thinking like to use the female cast of Mars Attacks. So Annette Bening can be Glenn Close's like right hand woman, you know. And then maybe Natalie Portman is like a nice Catwoman. Yeah. And maybe she falls in love with like Lucas Haas for real. You know, they have the whole thing.
Yeah, that
And
works.
then she starts to develop sympathy. She's like, I don't want to sex you to death. Like, you know. He's like, you could try. But
Yeah.
And yeah, so maybe she takes pity on them and tries to help them to escape. And, you know, there'll be all kinds of confrontations. And ultimately, I think it has to end with Glenn Close dying.
Well, what if... I don't know, I'm just thinking about like the way that cats will like sit on the bonnet of a car when it's just turned off because it's warm. What if she's just like hanging out in the engine of their rocket because it's warm there?
Yes, yeah, okay, I like that. Yeah, we should lean into the cat thing more.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What else kills cats?
Curiosity?
Yeah, well, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. He crushes her with a giant ball of yarn.
Sure, that sounds great.
Yeah, maybe they worship. That's it. So as well as being like sex murderers, maybe they also worship like the great god, you know, the great god of Venus, and they're like, you know, we'll sacrifice all the men to the great god, and it's like the whole film with the mystery is what is the great god? It's like hidden behind like in a temple or something, and then at the end of the film, all the surviving men are being brought in to be sacrificed, and it turns out that the god that they worship is just a giant ball of yarn.
Yep, I like that.
And they're all just pouring at it like meow meow.
Yeah,
sure. And yeah, maybe with the help of Natalie Portman, maybe they manage to fight back. Maybe she cuts like something that's holding the yarn together, and the ball of yarn rolls over and crushes Glenn Close to death.
That works.
Yeah, and the rest of the men and Natalie Portman make a break for freedom, and they escape from Venus, and maybe it sets up for a sequel. It's not my biggest idea.
Yeah, you started well.
I started well, and then I trailed off a bit, didn't I? I don't know. I don't, those films are always so like paper thin, which is kind of the point. Like, but
no, I think you've only got something there with throwing a cast into a completely different scenario.
Yeah, that's really what I wanted. I just wanted the cast to be doing something different. I like the idea of them doing those kind of exploitation movies. So,
yeah. And
I think it's a good opportunity for Glenn Close to camp it up again, like, you know, in a very Cruella de Vil kind of way, you know.
Yeah, sure, no, that works. And like, it could definitely be that they, you know, they finish on that planet or whatever. They get in a spaceship, they head off, and for whatever reason, they don't go back to Earth. They go on to the next planet.
Ooh, yeah, maybe.
You know, they're going to Mercury. Dog People of Mercury.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, okay. Maybe they kind of, after Glenn Close is dethroned, maybe they might make peace with the surviving cat ladies, the surviving cat women, or like, you know, see the error of their ways, and then it's like, oh, why don't we just all work together? And yeah, and then maybe like you see like a Martian UFO kind of enter orbit. It's like, oh damn.
Oh yeah.
Bring the Martians in. So
yeah, that works.
yeah, I don't know, not my best, but I started well and then I couldn't think of a way out of it particularly. But
yeah, sure thing, whatever. Cool. Okay, so listener submissions.
Yeah, listener submissions. Do you have any this week?
I've got one or two.
Okay. I was really annoyed actually because I only did it a couple of weeks ago that I couldn't do an Arrival thing for this, because that'd be really good. But I already did Arrival like 2 weeks ago, so I can't do it again. Well, that's just because it's like ack. I like the idea of like Amy Adams trying to translate that. That'd be fun.
Ah, yeah. Okay, so Ross Burton is the first person I've got.
Cool. Yeah.
Of course he is. He said, "Why is it always Mars attacking? The sequel should be another planet. Start with Venus attacks and just keep working outwards."
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
makes sense.
End with Pluto attacks.
Yeah. Alex Ryan, I actually quite like this one. Modern day Jack Nicholson. Don't know if you've seen what he's like these days, but
Yeah.
in every role.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like that.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
That would be really fun.
Like dressed as the characters.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so he's pretty good. If he's playing like the Pharaoh girl, he's going to be running around in like a bra and panties for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Like,
Yeah. And last one, Alex Hobson says, turns out exposing them to hardcore psytrance reanimates them and raves all over America to create an army of Walking Dead Martians.
Sorry, what?
So,
exposing them to
exposing them to psytrance reanimates them at raves.
What's psytrance?
Music.
Oh, I see. Exposing them to trance music.
Yeah.
Reanimates the corpses of the Martians.
Yes.
And then there's all of these.
So I guess that maybe as that genre of music becomes more popular, it's heard more places and, you know, heard by more of the corpses of the Martians. And then it's essentially a Walking Dead kind of situation.
Oh, interesting.
The zombie Martians.
That could be good, yeah. Yeah, that would be fun. Zombie
Most of whom without heads.
Yeah, or just like exploded heads. Yeah.
What do you do with zombies when you like destroying the brain doesn't stop them? What do you do?
Ooh, you've created the ultimate monster. I think that's interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Get that into production. I like that.
Very good, yeah. That's what I'll go.
Okay, cool. I have a few as well. Luke Shea said Dinosaurs Attack.
Oh, yeah.
Which was the related trading card game. So they had Mars Attack, so they
yeah.
had Get Dinosaurs Attack. So
yeah,
I mean, it would just be Jurassic Park, I guess, but you know,
pretty much,
or Jurassic World, sure. Will Buckingham said, "Wasn't that Arrival?" Which, yeah, as I said, it
fair enough.
Arrival could work as a kind of a stealth sequel to this film. They weren't from Mars, though, were they? Those aliens? No.
Well, you don't know. Could have been.
Maybe they were. Dennis Fanning said Venus Reacts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin Gray said John Carter of Mars Attacks.
Yeah, that thought crossed my mind.
Darren Gay said 50 Shades of Mars Attacks. I guess that's a sexy version of the movie. Dalton Mayer said Mars Defends, which I guess is what you did.
Oh, yeah.
Attacking Mars, yeah. Nick Roseblade said same film but from the Martian viewpoint. All in Martian except from when they meet Air Flanders. So it's all in Martian. Like they're speaking.
That doesn't sound very fun.
No, probably not. It has to be something.
Unless you like switch the languages.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. And finally, Jason Ritterstein said Bruno Mars Attacks.
Great, yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Yep.
A planet full of Bruno Mars singing aggressively at you. Cool. Yeah, so those are the submissions this week. If you have any sequel ideas for Mars Attacks or any films we've done in the past, please let us know. We are Beyond the Box Set. You can find us at beyondtheboxset.com. Our podcast is available on all good podcasting platforms, including iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Acast, Google Play, and more. If you like the show, please subscribe for free to get a new episode every Friday morning. You can also support us on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/beyondtheboxset. And we have exclusive merchandise at tpublic.com. Again, just search Beyond the Box Set. So, Harry, we are now reaching the fourth and final edition.
Oh, we're so close.
We're so close to the end of Glenn Close season. And I thought I'd throw you another bone and keep it light, keep it in a silly, watchable, popcorny kind of genre. So, although not quite the same as this, a film that came out around the same time. Again, she's in a supporting role, but quite a notable one. A film that's been on my list to do for this podcast for a while, actually. And that film is a little film called Air Force One.
Okay.
Yeah. Harrison Ford is the president on a plane.
Sure.
Action ensues.
I think I've been vaguely meaning to watch that, but
yeah, well, now you've got a chance.
Never got around to it.
Well, I hope you find it as exciting as you found this one. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so join us next week, listeners, for Air Force One.
Yeah.
Until then, bye.
Bye.